Once upon a time, in the great Arkansas Kingdom, the world lived in peace and coexistence between the humans, the animals, the birds, even the cute little bunny rabbits. It was an age of prosperity without anything to fear of war, famine, catastrophe. It was so very boring. So boring, in fact, that even the devil himself was bored brainless. The devil dreamed of bloodshed, pestilence, suffering on a cosmic scale. So, he devised a plan to make things in Arkansas a little more entertaining. The devil unleashed the curse of the Eternal Night, a powerful spell that conjured mindless, soulless, heartless monsters across the world. The monsters lay waste to every city, every home, every leaky outhouse, and backwater town in the kingdom. It was beautiful, but for some reason, the humans quite enjoyed their safe, boring little lives. They couldn't handle a few pesky monsters coming in and tearing them all limb from limb. So, they called upon their champion, the mighty wizard. A sorcerer with the skill and intellect to break the curse and usurp the devil's power. The wizard departed his luxurious tower and his studies to find the power he needed to break the curse of the Eternal Night. Very well, the devil said. Two can play that game. And who knows, this might be the fun I've been looking for. So in response to the wizard's quest, he called upon a champion of his own. Stingy Jack, history's greatest trickster and con artist, banished to wander the world as a wayward spirit. The devil crammed Jack's soul into the skin of a pumpkin and made him a deal. The devil would forgive Jack's past misdeeds and grant him passage to the afterlife. And in return, he gave Jack one simple mission: find the wizard and destroy him.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the world of Pumpkin Jack. With me, your host, Bill Alright, with the Occult Gaming Channel. This game was a treat for me. I think it'll be a treat for you guys as well. Right in time for Halloween. So hopefully you guys are having a good October, leading up to a good Halloween. And we're coming up on our first death, because you cannot tell that very shallow looking water would kill you, but yes, it can. Clearly. But this game was a surprise for me. Surprisingly good. I got it on PS4 on a whim because it just kind of looked cool, and I was not disappointed at all. As a matter of fact, like I say, I was pleasantly surprised. This was way better than I thought it was going to be. This game has a bit of an old school flair in regards to platforming, and it has a heck of a lot of character. And it has gameplay that reminds me of the PS2 and even the PS1 era. Very sort of old school way it plays. And that's something I've been missing, is like just classic platform games with a little bit of an edge. So I'll talk about that more as we go, but the game's story is actually pretty entertaining as well. There's quite a bit of humor to it. I like the setup for Jack being in this world. Kind of reminds me of Spawn. He's like the devil's... was the devil's hammer? The devil's scalpel. He's an avatar of the devil. He goes out and does the devil's dirty work. And you're actually, in this case, fighting the hero of the whole tale. You're technically the bad guy here. This is our healing font. There's a lot I want to say about Pumpkin Jack. I'm trying to like structure it as we go. I do want to right quick talk about the achievements you get on this game, because this will actually be a 100% achievement playthrough. Getting these skulls is a part of it. So we're gonna take a look at, or we're not gonna take a look. We'll take a look at it later. The achievement list, but it's really easy to get all the achievements here. You just gotta be really observant about those skulls. But it's a really easy game to get the platinum on if you're on PS4, or to get all the achievements if you're on Xbox or Steam. You can replay levels. So for all you achievement hunters, this is actually a really cool, fun game to get everything on. Now, what I really like about this game was it feels kind of like a spiritual successor to Medievil in many respects. It gave me a lot of the fun that I was lacking in the Medievil remake, because this game has like really good controls. The controls I was looking for in the Medievil remake that game didn't quite have. Alright, we're getting an introduction to the combat, which, once we start the combat, you guys will probably think that the combat isn't very good, but I'm just telling you to be patient, because you get more weapons than the weapon I'm about to pick up, and the combat really starts to get really fun. Like, one person made this game, and he went all in on the combat. So I'll talk about that more in just a little bit. Yeah, but aesthetically and kind of gameplay wise, this gives a really heavy emphasis, a really heavy sort of vibe of the Medievil remake. Gameplay wise is actually more similar to like Jack 2 than it is Medievil. I was gonna do voiceover, but there's just a few too many characters I don't want to. I'm feeling a little bit lazy. I don't want to do voices for all the characters. And I was gonna do it for like just maybe 2 of them. But then I was like, that's not quite as interesting. It's kind of weird. Yeah, this crow adds quite a bit to Jack's arsenal. I do like the inclusion of this crow. We're gonna see the first bit of it here. There we go, and there's also more to the left over there as well. Looks like do I realize it here? I must realize. Yeah, I see it. Yep. There's an achievement for finding all of these. Pumpkin Jack's just a really silly, fun game. Right, don't see why you guys would need this, but we have more healing here in case you needed it. And up here we're going to get into our first combat encounter. A couple of invisible walls here, which is unfortunate. One thing that's cool about invisible walls is they keep you on task. They keep you from going, you know, from breaking up the pace of the level too much. Okay, so you tap L1 to get the crow to home in on the target. The crow acts as a projectile, which is really simple, but it's really it makes the combat a little bit more dynamic, which I appreciate. And there's going to be crow only sections later as well. Mostly Russ. I suppose any weapon is better than none. So you get this shovel, and you're maybe thinking like, okay, combat's gonna be very rudimentary. Which combat isn't gonna be like ultra complex in this game, but it really does open up. Basically, as soon as you get the second weapon. And in this game, for the most part, each weapon feels completely different. We're going to be seeing more of that in just a little bit. But you can already see where that Jack and Daxter sort of influence is coming in at. Or you can say Crash Bandicoot, but I remember Jack and Daxter had like a similar combo. This game has just enough collectibles to make things interesting. Not too many to make it frustrating. And if you really look at your surroundings, the collectibles are the collectibles all make sense. got your little Dark Souls roll. Or dodge roll, however you want to think about it. I tend to think dodge roll because I played Devil May Cry 3 way before I played Dark Souls. And Devil May Cry 2. And Kingdom Hearts also had the dodge roll. What you buying? Ha, he said it. Okay, and this is gonna be our skin shop. We're collecting crow skulls to buy different character skins, and right away we can buy the lumber here for 5. Do get a trophy for that, and we're gonna use the lumber. He's already Jack, so he'll naturally be the lumberjack. And this one's a really cool costume. I almost feel like this should be Jack's default costume. But then he would have to be called Lumberjack instead of Pumpkin Jack. Yep, there are health pips in the various items. Keeps you wanting to break stuff. Something you could do forever. For these guys, it's a pretty good idea to start off with ranged attacks to soften them up. Go in for a melee combo right after. They also have ranged attacks, so be careful of those. I believe, yep. 2 of the crow attacks will take them out. There's a little bit of a cooldown between crow attacks. You can't just do them back to back. There's maybe a 2 or 3 second cooldown on the crow attacks. As the crow kind of repositions itself and flies back to you. I believe the health is the health cauldron is infinite. I believe you can continue to drink from it. I could be wrong. It's been a little while since I played it. Right now I'm doing post commentary if you couldn't tell. It's been about maybe 6 or 7 months since I played. But a very throwback. The controls are what really make this game. The controls are pretty responsive. Like, they aren't perfect, but Jack controls wonderfully. And for the most part, he jumps where you think he would jump. That's a problem I had with Dan in the Medieval remake. And I just missed also over there. There's a skull that I should have jumped from that scaffolding right there. I should have jumped over there from that. So don't do what I did. Make sure to get that skull up there. Save yourself a little hassle later. Yeah, I had some problems with Sir Dan's platforming skills compared to Jack's here. As much as I did love Medieval Remake, the controls really bothered me in that game. I had so much trouble and annoyance with the way that game controlled. That this, and I'm gonna continue to make comparisons between this and Medieval because they're very similar games. And I do have that Medieval playlist that I'll be linking to this one. You'll see that I did have a great time playing that one, but I was frustrated by a lot of sections in that game. I grew to love it, but that was despite the many shortcomings. And Medieval Remake was particularly frustrating because after I beat Medieval Remake, I went back to play the original because I remember the original not having any control issues. Like, I don't remember ever complaining about the controls in the original. Went back to play the original after you unlock it, you know, in Medieval Remake. And yeah, it controls way better than the remake's controls. And the combat's a lot better in the original Medieval. He pilots his bodies. And head inside. That's actually pretty funny. Okay, so we have these mini game sections where you control Jack's head. It's actually kind of cool. It reminds me of the 2003 Ninja Turtles. That cartoon, because there was a character on there who was an alien called an Utram, and he was he controlled one of the major characters in the show. Okay, so you can push these to help you maneuver around the level a little bit easier. You have the spin attack in this form. I believe you can permanently break these boxes, so be careful about that, I think. Simple puzzle. Crash Boo-ndicoot. Alright, game. I didn't even remember that was called that. Alright, just being really paranoid looking for skulls here. See? I think it's a really good idea to be paranoid. Especially in a game with collectibles like this. I'm gonna look under here, because of course they like to hide stuff under here. No skulls though in this case. Alright, for some reason our range attack option disappeared. I'm trying to get it back, because there's multiple enemies down here. And there's a new enemy type here. These rats. So yeah, if you kill these rats, then they just spawn more. So you want to take out the source of the spawning. It's gonna be this over here. There you go. I believe the only way to take that out is with the projectile, but don't quote me on that quite yet. $15 out of 20. And I believe we're missing 2 so far, if memory serves. Been a little bit extra careful with the controls here. There's another. What do you call that? Like a... I would just call it a rat dwelling. There's another rat dwelling across the room there, across the barn. Skull spawned as well. Skeleton, I should say. The down attack's pretty good. Got a big old hitbox on him. Like I realized that, yeah. I realized that right away. Yep, now it's time to spam it. Once you know you got something good, you gotta spam it. Ain't that how we gamers are? We find the best thing and we just use it until it's like, well, we just use the hell out of it. And we can see like a blinking light up there. We're thinking maybe it's a skull. Crow skull. It could just be a regular enemy skull. We spreading fires, being careless. We got a glow over here. Definitely a crow skull. Alright, we got another here. That's gonna be what, number 18? Number 17. Yeah, apologies. I'm thinking about different subjects to really kind of talk about here. There's really kind of a lot. One subject I want to discuss is the fact that one guy created all this. I think that's so neat. It actually reminds me of not too long ago I uploaded my Dust playthrough, Dust and Elysian Tale. I highly recommend you guys check that out. I'll make sure to link it in the description. Maybe have a little card as well. But yeah, I'm always flabbergasted when like one guy makes these games like that. It looks like a whole team made. Yeah, we'll just set fire to this barn, being careless. So this game has quite a few of these like sequences where you're running. They're all a little bit different though. Some of them are like in carts, some of them are on foot, some of them are like in other vehicles as well. Like these things are all fun and they're pretty well made. And as you can see, it uses like all of your tools, all of your skills. You gotta use the crow here as a projectile to open up pathways. So these I really like. They're really dynamic. Normally I don't really like scripted stuff like this, but this still uses the fundamentals of the game's gameplay. It just puts it in a different perspective, frames it in a different, challenging way. And the camera's not horrible here. It is different. It is kind of more cinematic, but actually really fun, believe it or not. Hero shot. And this is when I kind of realized, like, I most likely left skulls behind. Because this is feeling like, oh, we're almost at the end of the level, and I only have 17 skulls. The pacing felt off. And I definitely missed, like, 2, I believe. Definitely 1, for sure, but I believe I missed 2. I'm gonna get number 18 here. Oh no, that's 19. So I only missed 1. Okay. So I might have been off earlier when I mentioned one of the ones I missed. But yeah, that's where I'm like, this looks like the end of the level and I only have 19 skulls. What happened? But don't worry guys, I'll show you later where to get that skull at. Bog standard. The attacks actually don't go very far. So I would say this boss fight isn't very difficult. Just kind of repeat the tactics I'm doing here. The way I'm doing it here makes it really easy. Like you won't even really lose health this way. So going in for melee is a bit risky against those guys because they can't ignore your melee attacks. Avoiding his attacks aren't that difficult either. His melee attacks are telegraphed pretty well. We just take it slow and easy with these guys. Knock him down. There we go. 3 hits. The classic boss formula popularized by Nintendo. And we get a new weapon here. This weapon is gonna really change you guys' opinion up of the gameplay.
Stingy Jack, the genius trickster who could fool even the devil himself, has returned to the mortal realm. Armed with a brand new body and his soul cruelly bound to a festering pumpkin, Jack has been joined by his stoic guide, the Owl, and commandeered the services of a cowardly crow to fight on his behalf. But there must be no more time for fun and games. Jack and his companions of the night must embark upon their quest to slay the wizard. With Jack now perfectly attuned to his new vessel, the owl leads him to the mountains in the distance. For at the heart of the mountain, through a network of ancient mines, lies a powerful secret.
Alright guys, we're going to the mines. We got our new weapon. Let's go ahead and test it out. Look at that. We actually got a moveset update. And we got more moves than a Souls game. Like, we actually got like new combos, new moves, a new jumping attack, a new neutral attack. It's amazing, actually. And we can switch back to the shovel if we want to use that. Shovel's pretty good, but once you get this, like, an actual weapon here, it's like, damn, what game am I playing? Is this Dynasty Warriors? Is this Devil May Cry? Is this God of War? Like, this is when I really, like, when the game really opened my eyes. Like, it was already really fun, but then it was like, on top of this, I'm gonna get like really good combat too. I don't know what I'm trying to do here. Maybe trying to see if you could weapon swap in midair, like do a combo and then weapon swap in midair. Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to do, is change weapons like mid combo. Up to it. Some of the reviewers found the gameplay to be rough around the edges. I didn't really find that I had that same experience. I found the game to be surprisingly polished for it to be like an indie game that one person created and designed and did all this for. Had a really smooth experience. I wasn't trying to do anything like out of the ordinary with the game either. I just playing it kind of slow and steadily, making sure to explore. Not rushing things too much. I had a really good time with it. Still causing issues. I think I might have got lost here, or maybe I was looking for skulls. I can't quite recall. Okay, looks like I wanted to go to this well. This is a clear way to go. I'm sure I'm gonna go back to. Oh no, I just went for it. Okay. So they just ignore your melee attacks. As good as the weapon is, kind of sucks that enemies can just attack through you. But the dodging's pretty solid, so it's a good answer to enemies that are just have invincibility while you're attacking. I believe these enemies take 3 shots to kill, looks like. So probably best to avoid them with melee. If anybody knows if it's the opposite, let me know in the comments below. But I tend to handle those with the projectile. It was very difficult there to have faith that that jump was jumpable, I guess, for lack of a better term. I'm still got PTSD from some of those jumps in Medievil, so I'm like, there's no way I can make that sort of jump there. But yeah, you got to give Jack a little bit more credit. He can actually make all sorts of jumps in this game. We got respawning ghosts. We can take out the haunted campgrounds there to keep the ghosts from respawning. I would just call it a haunted pile. And that there should unlock once all the enemies are dispatched up. Let's go there. Yep. It locks up whenever those enemies are around. Alright, solid strategy for taking those things out. You definitely just want to target that pile. Got a crow skull up top here. Okay, we're gonna head into another Headless Jack section. This one was a little bit difficult to understand how to work it. So it's gonna take me a little bit to figure it out myself. So I'm just gonna keep that footage in there too for other people who are struggling with it. It's a bit difficult to understand. And it takes me a little while to get acclimated here and figure stuff out. The puzzle isn't very complex. We want to get the bomb over there to the fire. It is timed. So this is me slowly figuring that out. And this is honestly a good idea to kind of look at the entire stage to figure out what you're supposed to do, so I recommend it as well. Take your time. Okay, I think I figured it out. But now I gotta figure out how to get back. And thought I was gonna be slick and double jump around it, but couldn't do that. Now I got the bomb stuck here. Better to just... I don't know if you can pitch it off the side of the level. I think you can, but who knows? I can't quite remember. Yep, looks like you can. Resets the whole stage. So it's a little bit difficult to tell where the bomb's gonna go. Just for the simple fact that it doesn't traverse the entire line that it projects. So you really gotta figure out how strong Jack is. It goes about halfway, or maybe a little bit more than half of the line. Maybe like 75% of the line. Gotta be a little bit gentle with it. Ah, too impatient. Now this is the awkward angle to try to hit it from. But remember, it's pretty accurate in terms of where the line is. So we can make this shot here just fine. There's also like a little bit of physics involved in where it goes to. Like it's not always consistent. So we do want to get it close because the platform here does raise back up pretty quickly. Okay, but we don't gotta rush it. Okay, that's a pretty good shot. Now let's see what we do here. I think we should have it here. It's very easy to mess up, so I just highly recommend taking your time. Because we're attacking this thing with a circular attack. And we gotta hit it straight. And you get trophies and achievements really easily in this game. Three hits. I don't even know if that thing's dangerous. I just wasn't messing with it when I could just safely hit it with a projectile. I think it has a projectile too. And we got the mice over there. But as long as that hole over there isn't destroyed, these things are gonna be in. Yeah. The bat has a projectile. But we have a ground pound. That does a lot of splash damage. Hit this from a distance. No need to fight them. Fight them if we want to. But our main thing is this pipe here. Okay, making sure we aren't missing any crow skulls. Okay, and here is another chase sequence. This one in a cart. Very reminiscent of old school platform games. Emo Canary. Malfeasance. It's a pretty cool word, actually. There we go. The camera work on these sections is pretty good. Like, it gives you this like manic energy, this zany, cartoony, wacky energy. The music's like perfect for this section too. This game is charming as hell. I actually wish I was playing it right now instead of doing post commentary over it. Maybe I should have. I think the reason I didn't do commentary on it was because I maybe had house guests at the time. But sometimes I just play games without recording over them, and I'll just record the game, but I won't do voiceovers. It does help me enjoy the game a little bit more. And then sometimes you'll get a run where you get all the achievements or something or trophies. It's like, okay, well, we'll have to do post commentary now that we've actually done something with the run. This was a cool section here. This section taught me just how clever the placement of the skulls can be, the crow skulls. There looks to be a new enemy type here as well. Maybe several new enemy types. Looks like we got a skeleton archer here, in addition to these ghosts. The ghosts drop health, very helpful. Got our fourth crow skull. We can see more crow skulls around just by looking around. We see there's much more to the level. I'm not sure if that's where we came from or if that's new area. You know, with the combat, I'm just multitasking with my spam. Crow skull number 5. Doing the ground pound attack while also using the crow. I just tend to use the crow whenever. Using the crow makes the game so much more easy. Like you see, I was able to smash the respawn pile from a distance. Now this second one, because I'm up close, I'm gonna have to resort to the ground pound attack. There we go. I need more games like this, man. And it's just so incredibly chill, too. It's like chill, but it gives you a decent amount of stuff to think about and to focus on and to do. We got our God of War tightrope section. Also popularized by quite a few games, honestly. Sonic Unleashed was another game that had tight wire controls, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe balance beam controls. I like these fire physics. I think that's super cool. I wish it was prevalent throughout more of the game. I think it's really cool though. But now you see I'm like slowing down and looking for the crow skulls, because just this section alone got me like a little bit paranoid, but a little bit more curious as to where they might be putting them, because they layered them up really nicely over here. Doesn't look to be any more over here, so we can move on. Now I don't remember if I revisited this level, so I don't know if I got all the skulls in this run or if I came back later to complete it. I will say by the end of this run you guys will have everything, but I don't play through perfectly because this is my first time playing the game. So it's not a perfect run if you're trying to like just follow me and get everything. We do revisit maybe a couple of stages once we beat the game. I believe this is where we should go for the extra content, and I think this is the main path over here. Yep, this is the main path. Mercenary of the devil himself. Gonna drink some tea, guys, just warn you. Hopefully that's not too much ASMR. We got a gramophone over here. I do like this song though. This might have to be the thumbnail. Legit. that's gonna be thumbnail for episode 1. Most likely, unless I find something way better. Yeah, have you guys played this game? I'm very curious. And if you have, let me know what you think about this game. The game tricked me. Oh, look at that. Sorry, health quail. At least they auto-saved it at the Gramophone. Yeah, those cliffs look very much so touchable. Traversable, maybe the better word. I thought they'd at least like have an invisible wall there to push me, but I think it's worse that I clipped through them. Somehow I would have accepted an invisible wall, but not the clip through. I wonder if you could ride on those. They look like dynamite. But I appear to be afraid that they'll hit me. Oh, he is tearing me up. I struggle with that enemy. Trying to get a good camera angle. Me realizing that combat isn't the most important thing. Or that there's no benefit from just fighting everything. Looking around, trying to get a gauge for what the level's gonna bring. If it's gonna bring more crow skulls. It's much easier to dodge carts when they're coming from the opposite direction. Looking at how everything froze over there once we hit a certain point. Looks like we can hit the skull over there from this. Oh, and we almost missed out on this skull. Got another skull up here. Yeah, best to just hit that L1 as soon as you see you're able to. I don't believe hitting the barriers results in an instant KO or game over. I think it just takes health. So you can, I believe you can hit a certain number of these, if I recall correctly. Definitely giving that old school Crash Bandicoot vibes. I think in particular Crash Bandicoot 3, right? That's the one that had all the vehicles. Got a chance to get more costumes. We got a skull right away over here. Got an interesting looking part of the level. They literally are, yeah, I was just gonna say that. They literally are skins. The lumber costume is pretty top tier. Cowboy's okay. He's kind of cool. The samurai's kind of meh. I think I'd enjoy the cowboy more if the colors were a little different. I'm just trying to see what's breakable. This is me realizing there's no need to fight. Took that out. I'll just stack these guys up. The crow skull is now unlocked. We're causing another forest fire. And if you guys are wondering if that ghost is gonna be an enemy we fight, well, I would say you are spot on. do indeed get to fight that ghost. That's the funny part. I went on and on about the combat, but I'm just spamming. I'm just spamming ground pound over and over again. Oh, the fire took those guys out. It's kind of neat. So I can see something. And it, in fact, is a crow skull. Yeah, there's a couple on this level that are really easy to miss. The pace that's set by this is also pretty good. They give you the mini games at, I feel like, just the right interval. Though I think a little bit more imagination could have been put in the mini game. Because the squirting the bomb doesn't feel quite so fun. Even though, you know, it's a bit of a puzzle. And puzzles can be fun, but there's something about escorting the bomb that's just not as fun as you would think it would be. Maybe it's because it's very difficult to gauge the physics of how far you kick it. I'm like, what the hell? How am I supposed to get over there? Looks like I'm figuring something out. This one's a little bit tricky. Now, if you aren't paying attention, you might think you could just pitch that over there. But the thing is, this bomb doesn't move that far. You can't just pitch it across from here to there. You have to take this bridge across. Okay, took a while, but we got it. Got quite a few enemies in here. Be careful. We can take out the summoning grave there. As you can see, you can also cancel out of attacks with movement. That roll can be used as a attack cancel option, or even just early recovery. And I'm giving all the enemies respect because I'm aware that they can attack through your attacks. So we're just gonna make sure to respect all the enemies. I don't believe you have to, but that's just how I play. Okay, we got 2 crow skulls here. Number 18 and number 19. I think we're moving at a good pace. I believe we're gonna be on task to get all the skulls here. You gotta pay attention and find the last one. But I'm getting a little bit concerned because we got another cart section. So it's almost like, okay, could I have left the crow skull behind? It's possible, because I can't remember if I did or not. Like this song. Fly of the Valkyries. The way it has that like sci-fi twang to it. The jumps kind of line up with the song. That's kind of sick. Okay, we're already at the boss fight. Did we leave behind? Alright, this is our boss fight. This is me concerned that I've forgotten a skull. Which I don't believe I did. I believe the skull... Oh, this boss fight was interesting. Now, this boss fight could potentially be very annoying. And I believe it did annoy me some. I might have even died a couple times here. Because it is a very busy boss fight. I think my main advice here is just to take your time. You do have to hit these bombs over to them. And maybe that's going to be easier with the shovel. But yeah, remember, you can hit the ghost for health. I think normally I wouldn't even worry about the ghosts unless you're trying to get health. You probably want to keep a couple of those ghosts around to feed you. There we got 2 times. Now he's gonna go a little bit crazy. Looks like you can just run around in a circle to avoid just about all of his attacks. You'll run around in a circle technique. Never fails in video games. Looks like I dropped that bomb off the level. It looks like that time I missed him with the bomb. Got bombs. I like how the game trains you to use the bombs before this fight with the mini games. Looks like I didn't die. I thought I died on that fight. Looks like I did actually forget a crow skull though. Yeah, this sword is super cool. Here is the wizard. Wizard is probably my favorite character in the game. Okay, you guys will get to see the sword next time.
The great Jack, master of trickery, finally has had the tables turned on him. Upon reaching the tablet of the heart of the mountain, Jack bitterly discovers that he is too late. The clever, cold-hearted wizard, humanity's champion, now possesses a powerful amulet, and is one step closer to usurping the devil's rule over the world and breaking the curse. But there is still hope for our harrowing heroes. Jack's epic duel with the wizard's indentured spirit catches the attention of a magical sword, who vows to teach him greater mastery of the deadly arts. Determined to close the gap between himself and the enemy, Jack and his companions rush from the mountain and follow the wizard's trail of magic into the wilderness.
Okay, and that'll be the end of the episode, guys. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this first episode of Pumpkin Jack. I'll show you guys more of the moveset with this crazy awesome sword next time. As you can see, this game has some crazy stuff with the melee. But I appreciate you guys for stopping by today. I want you guys to take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. But take care, guys. Till next time, peace.